the NFL on EA Sports as we are in the inner harbor of Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. Here's a scene a short time ago. The Ravens introduced to this sellout crowd, and through a sea of pyrotechnics, out they came from the tunnel. We're set to go as the Ravens get ready to match up with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Justin Tucker set to boom this one away. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
On 2nd and 9, Rodgers. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Here's Jones. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. From midfield, here's Rodgers. To Valdez-Scantling over the middle. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Throwing now is Rodgers. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Every coach we ever talk to says to his team before the game, quick start, guys. Let's get out of the gate fast. How about that? They took his lesson to heart, didn't they?
They did exactly that. A nice diving catch here on the game's opening drive. And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. Rodgers now to throw. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And the Ravens are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive. A few things better than a big man interception. You can always tell right when they get the football, there's that level of excitement and nervousness, and also like, what the heck do I do with this thing?
And you say, no better sight? Well, not for the quarterback to just throw it. It's bad enough to throw a pick, but to throw one to the big guy? But you're right about that. Now what do I do with it? But what's fun about it is, you know they're going to be in the film room after this ball game, telling all their teammates, maybe I should shift over to offense. I've got skills. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I always find myself cheering for them after they intercept it. Unfortunately here, he couldn't make it into the end zone. Out to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Whenever you see a quarterback break contain, just think to yourself, the receivers on that side of the field, their number one job, make sure they get in his sight line so he can try and find someone downfield. Guys on the backside, make sure you don't give up the deep ball. They tried it there. They weren't able to connect.
Jackson's throw complete here to his receiver, Brown. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. Here's Jackson. Steps away. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson keeping it himself from 7 yards out. And the Ravens have taken the early lead. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Rodgers going to give this one to Dillon. And once again, they stop him behind the line. Great job by this Ravens defense. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12. Here's Rodgers to throw. Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Now a fair catch signaled for and made right about the 43-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in this 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now. That is definitely what we call on defense an uh-oh play. And what you mean by that is against Lamar Jackson, when you see him out of the pocket, your first thought is, uh-oh, he's going to try and run it. How do I get to him and get him on the ground? And guess what? That didn't happen, and his receivers took advantage.
Open man Watkins, touchdown Baltimore. Sammy Watkins, 28 yards. And the Ravens are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8-ball.
You got to make sure you just hold in there. Survive the early storm, relax a little bit, and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully points.
There is no denying they want to get him involved. That's already the 5th time that they've looked his way in this first quarter.
So that tells me defensively that they want to insist on going in that direction. Make sure you get your best people in the area to try and take that away.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Patrick Queen. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? Now it's Jackson. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete.
But defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
And this is caught. It's Brown. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. A big play that time through the air. 30 yards. But one thing's for sure. They're going to have to come up with something at halftime because he is absolutely roasting them right now.
They're going to go through the whole litany of things. Changing coverages. You know, what are we going to do to put a man on him? The big thing to me is treat it like a good...
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. J.K. Dobbins taking it in from 2 yards out as the Ravens push further out in front. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
The Packers on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They can use a conversion. Here it's 3rd and 2. Here's Rodgers. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
On now is the Packers punter, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. It'll be a gain of 2 on the play, but they'll remain a few inches short here with 3rd down looming.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. And this is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit. Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a 1st down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
It's a 1st down and more for Dobbins. And finally, down at the 36-yard line.
Well, I can certainly tell my age, partner, because when I was a kid, running backs like J.K. Dobbins with over 2,000 yards in their final season in college, they went early in the draft. Instead, he somehow lasted until the 2nd round. But how great is it to get a guy with that ability who can run it inside, run to the perimeter, and catch the football in the backfield? Be able to get him in the 2nd round? That's what I call a steal.
Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop. And the last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Brown. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Adrian Amos up to make the tackle. This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
Looking left side, and it's complete. And in for the Ravens touchdown. J.K. Dobbins. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Ravens are able to add on to their first half lead. Tucker with the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers escaping the pressure right. It got his man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big connection on that one. 38 yards. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. A quick throw out to Adams on the perimeter. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. Again, they'll throw it. Gets this to his running back, Aaron Jones. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taking them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
A final shot before half for Rodgers. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports.
Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. Well, certainly not what they wanted out of the locker room here as they'll start defensively.